My name's Anthony Johnston, and
I'm Nathan Schwartz.
the show we're doing is called Tenderpits, and it's playing every night at 9:30 till the end of the festival at Underbelly at Cowgate, Big Belly.
So, have you played at Fringe before?
It's our first time at the Edinburgh Festival.
But you've played shows in...
Yeah, we're from Canada, but we live in New York City now, and we've been doing Tenderpits in New York for the past 2 years on and off, and our company, Animal Parts, has been creating a lot of other new work that we've been doing in New York and New Jersey and across Canada.
Do you feel that your approach is different in the UK than it is in New York? Do you have to change any of your material?
Yeah, we already had to change the beginning of the show because we wanted to contextualize it in the UK, because when we do it in New York, it's taken for granted that we're in New York, and I think we try not to say anything extra than we have to, so people have the expectation of we're in New York so we can speak to them like they're there. And here we found out we had to contextualize it to let them change the approach to say, look, pretend you're in New York or pretend you're in America, so that people didn't think it was.
The show is a lot about immigration. It's like kind of a kind of driving force in the show is this journey from Canada to the U.S. So it does kind of play a big part in the atmosphere of the show, the awareness of where we are with the audience. It seems like the audience is, here, it's our first time in Edinburgh, so the audience is building in numbers every night, which is great. Like, there's a definite steady incline of audience. But it seems like every night people are laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing until suddenly they want to kill themselves, because it's pretty, it's not really, but it's a comedy, but there's a lot of pain and heart and vulnerability underneath that. So we're always excited to talk to people after who are like, wow, I never laughed that hard in a theater, and then suddenly I was crying, and that kind of emotion that sneaks up on people through the comedy is really exciting for us.
Do you guys feel that there's a lot of pressure on you before you go on stage because it's the Edinburgh Festival, and there's so many other acts and people go in with expectations? In
a way, it's a one-man show, so I'm performing and Nathan and I created it together and he directs. And I think that we've been doing it enough now in New York City that I think that we have found a good way to calm ourselves, to just get on with telling the story and doing the show and finding a true connection with the audience. But yeah, it is a huge festival and there's so many acts, and the pressure seems more outside of the actual show. Yeah. The rest of the day when we're doing stuff like this, or out on the street on the Royal Mile, or constantly trying to scrounge up attention for our show or make ourselves stand out among so many acts. It's difficult. It's crazy.
So the show is a sanctuary from the madness of trying to sell the show.
Yeah. How do you actually sell it? Why should people come to see your show? How do you sell it, basically? Why should people come to see it?
Well, I think it's really truly like nothing else out there, really. It is such a unique combination of theatrical styles. The show is based on my own life, and so in that respect, it's really a very personal story that, because it's so specific and personal, a lot of people can relate to, a lot of elements in it. But we tell this personal story through a very, very theatricalized, fantastical, comedic, bizarro lens that keeps people really on the edge of their seat and surprised from moment to moment. I guess I'll tell you a little bit about what the show's about, too. If we were trying to just tell you what the show was, I would say that, it's a comedic exploration of the powers of positive thinking, and I am a wizard, just so you know. I'm a wizard of positive thinking in my real life and also in the show. So the show is about a wizard's immigration from Canada to New York City, and struggles of immigration, as well as the constant struggle to remain a wizard of positivity in the face of real-life hardships and things that you can't control with the powers of positivity, or with secreting or manifesting your destiny, all that kind of spiritual, pseudo-self-help spirituality stuff that's out there these days that I kind of do feel personally I'm a subscriber to, but we try to spoof it in the show as well as embrace it.
Where somebody hits complete rock bottom and is only wearing a nappy and has got filthy feet because he's lost everything and is on crutches. How does that person? How is that person eternally optimistic and can do anything? So then you see a person like that approaching the audience. I can make anything happen, and so can you. Teaching a lesson on the powers of positive thinking, but then has this crazy story about how he got where he is.
But yeah, it's now fueled by a real person's real struggle to remain positive, despite, dealing with death and loss and grieving and immigration. And I think that's what sneaks up in the show, and people, don't realize it's really in there until the end.
Well, I wish you all the luck in the world with it. It sounds really good, and